Hey YouTube, what up? Christina here, back in New York after a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend in Nashville. And I know I'm a week late, but I'm gonna talk about the conference now. Kind of had to deal with a family emergency for the last week, but that completely threw me off. Still dealing with it now, so excuse me looking tired and run down. But I really did want to talk about how magical of a weekend everything in Nashville was with the WLSFA. So I think if any of you guys saw my last video, it was Friday night, and it was the first night in Nashville, and I was getting ready to go to the Country Wishes dinner night thing. So much fun, first off. Okay, so that was my first night wearing a dress. By choice, ever. I cried at least 3 times, and then getting there and feeling really proud of the fact that I wasn't freaking out about my legs, I wasn't freaking out about my body, I was not totally in my head, I was just enjoying the fact that I felt beautiful for once in my life. And someone next to me is having a very similar moment, saying it's the first time that she's worn pink in her journey, and the first time she felt safe wearing bright colors. And who else is next to me saying they just bought this outfit for this thing, or they never would have worn plaid, or they never everybody was having victories at the same time, and it was awesome. It was awesome. It was so cool to be in this room with all these people who were sharing these moments. And then the next day I did the 5K, which was just an additional pile of awesome. I've had that on my bucket list forever, since I started my journey, but even before then, I've wanted to do a 5K. I wanted to be one of those people, and getting to do it was cool, but I think the more awesome part, and one of the reasons that, I knew the WLSFA was special, but the fact that nobody finished this race alone, it really got me. I was on the slower side. I was not a runner. I was a walker. Worried that I wasn't going to finish at all. Getting very in my head along the whole journey and just kind of thinking about it and saying, okay, you have to do this. A year ago you weren't going to do this. You would never have done this a year ago. But here you are. And then I saw a hill and I freaked out because there was a hill and I had to walk up a hill. And, but I did it. I did it. I had to remind myself to breathe. But the best part was that some of the people who were faster came back for the rest of us and walked the race with us. Didn't let us finish alone. Didn't make us feel alone. Didn't make us feel like we were struggling, And it was monumental for me. To be able to finish that race with somebody and be proud when I got to that finish line, and to have my surgeon there who did the race with us and has completely changed my life for the better, and then to be able to put that medal on and have him there and be with this group of people that just did this thing that was easier for some than it was for others, but that I got to somehow finish. I started crying right after. I know all this video is going to be so I did this thing and then I started to cry. I'm sorry. It's just, deal with it, because that's what it was. An emotional weekend, but it was wonderful. So anyway, the 5K was great. I'm sorry, I'm not yelling at you. A long day, guys. So anyway, and later Saturday night, we had the Bling Night Gala and Stories in the Spotlight, which, thank you, WLSFA, for letting us do. It's been a dream of mine to do something like that for a long time. And also one of the scariest things I've ever done, because, and I'm going to say it was scarier than surgery, because being vulnerable in a room of 300 people, I don't know, it was hard. But also, by the time that we got to that stage, I was worried about it all day. But after meeting everybody and just experiencing how much love was in that room all weekend, and how much acceptance was in that room, and how everybody was really on the same journey. I mean, granted that they're all different ways of approaching a journey, and we've all, gotten to where we are in different ways, but we're all trying to get healthier. We're all fighting our own demons. We're all, whatever. So being able to speak a truth that very rarely comes out, about how I've been mentally dealing with this surgery and how some days you don't see what you want to see, was scary at first, because I thought, well, if this is too real, if these people don't like it, I don't know. I just always kind of assumed the comedian in me assumes that, like, if people don't like what they're seeing, they're just gonna walk out, because I mean, it's never happened to me at a comedy show, but I've seen it happen to people, and it's horrifying. And if 300 people got up and like walked out of that room when we were doing this thing, I would have been like mortified. But like being able to perform to a room full of people that could 100% relate on some level to what we were all saying, and who came up to us afterwards to tell us how brave they thought we were. I didn't feel brave. I just felt like I needed to get that story out there. I felt like I needed to say it. I honestly didn't realize the kind of reaction that we were going to get from it, and I really wholeheartedly am overwhelmed with gratitude and love and just pure, like, pure hope after this weekend, because it's the least alone I've felt in a very, very long time. Just being able to share so many good things, and then, the real things, and being able to confront my fears and other people's fears. None of us felt alone, I don't think. Being able to have victories with other people, just meeting such wonderful people all weekend. Oh my god, again, it's like too many to name, but like, just, I already bought my ticket for next year, because there's no way I'm not going back. So I wanna say thank you to the WLSFA for such an incredible weekend. And if you aren't already involved with them, I highly suggest checking it out, because for a lot of us, getting surgery approved was not an easy feat at all. And I got put through the ringer to get my surgery. I thought for a little bit that I was going to get denied. It's scary. It's not an easy process, and to go through all of it and all of the hard work and then to get denied, it's really, I can't even imagine how frustrating that would be. But for an organization to come in there and help people, like, 20, I think it's 22 or 23 people now, it's astounding. And watching everyone come together, being a part of helping to raise money for that this weekend was great. Just now I'm honestly interested in starting a chapter in New York City, so I'm talking to them about that. So if anyone here is watching and from New York and you want to join me, like, let me know. I don't really know what's going on with it yet. I don't really know what I'm allowed to say or not, so I'm not going to say much. But that's something I definitely want to be doing, because I just want to stay as involved with the WLSFA as possible. Next year's conference, 2017, is in Portland in May. You guys should all go. There's just so much good that this organization does, and it's so selfless and just completely wonderful and good. And I don't know, I couldn't be happier to be involved on any level that I am. Also, emceeing for Carney Wilson was a freaking blast. She's just the sweetest person ever, and yeah, so it was just a great weekend. One thing that I do and will talk about now, which is non-WLSFA related, is this crazy week I've been having ever since surgery for my grandfather, which I'm not going to go into too much, but basically it was an emergency and I had to come home right away and kind of get into this mode where I was being strong and protecting my family and having to be in the hospital and put on a brave face and deal with my emotions, which normally I would eat until they go away, right? That's what I did. Can't really do that anymore. And when I got the phone call that he was in the hospital, I was very lucky to be in Nashville with people from the weight loss surgery community who right away knew where my head was going to go and provided wonderful distractions and provided some great advice because they knew, like, one of them actually asked me, like, hey, is this your first, like, crazy thing that's happened to you since, since your life has changed? And I'm like, yes. I don't know how to deal with it. Like, my go-to reaction in the past was just eat till the problem goes away. Like, if it's a feeling, if it was, sadness or depression or guilt or fear or, I don't know, happiness too, because why not? Like, I would eat it away. And that's how I got to be where I was. I mean, it's not the whole reason, but it's a big reason of how I got to be where I was, and I didn't want to go down that road. I don't. So I'm just very thankful to have been where I was when I got that news because the few people that I was with immediately put into perspective to me that I should be very proud of where I am right now, and I don't want to ruin the progress that I've made, and I need to take care of myself maybe now more than ever because my family does need me, but I also need me. So thank you for the people that put things into perspective for me because, you guys probably all know, it's very easy to lose yourself in a situation like that and care about everybody but yourself. We've spent our lives doing it. I'm a big culprit of that. I will put everybody before myself 99% of the time. And it was nice to have somebody remind me that I needed to focus. So all week, despite, being back and forth in the hospital, and right now I'm in a hotel room, I've been trying to stay on plan as much as possible, have been, trying to remind myself to eat, trying to remind myself to drink, stay hydrated, get my water in. It's harder than it should be, but it's been manageable. And a couple people have been keeping me accountable, and I love them for it. And I don't think it's a bad thing to ask somebody if they have a second to text you and keep you accountable because, let's face it, when you're dealing with stuff and you are worried about someone round the clock for 24 hours a day, 7 days, that's around the clock, yeah, alright, I'm just explaining things now, that's not cool, but yeah, you get it, like, it's hard to remember to take care of yourself, so, I'm trying, not always on the ball with it, but I'm doing better than I thought that I would be, given the circumstances, and getting my protein in, which is awesome. Hospital food is not bariatric friendly, surprisingly. At least not this hospital. I don't know. So I've been venturing out a lot, getting myself some yogurts, getting myself some meat wherever I can, chicken, whatever I could find. But I'm really trying, and I'm trying to be proud of myself for that right now. Stats-wise, I am 135 pounds down. I did a diet bet, which I'm feeling stupid about doing now because it's got me obsessing about numbers again, and I just got over that. But it ends tomorrow, and after that, I am done with diet bets because it's just a bad idea for me, and I'm realizing that now. It just gives me scale anxiety. And I'm trying to care a little bit less about that number. But otherwise, I guess things are good. Once this whole family emergency situation is over, I will feel so much better. But if I met you in Nashville, I am so glad to have met you. If I didn't meet you in Nashville, but you were in Nashville, why didn't I meet you in Nashville? But either way, I know there's some other like weight loss surgery meetup happening in August in Atlantic City. I am planning on being there. I'll bring up the details on that next video that I post. But I hope to see some of you guys at that as well. And just seriously, thank you, WLSFA, for everything this past weekend. It was the best thing that I absolutely didn't know I needed. And now we'll never miss again. Like, I think I'm going to just go every year for the rest of my life. So, yeah. Alright. Peace out, you guys, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye.